Hello, hello. Just making some minor adjustments here. Hello, hello. Making sure my sound is working, and it is, so that's awesome. What am we covering today? Today we are going to be working on Dawn of Flame Adventure Path. This is the crew. This is their ship, Breath of Embers. Um, one of the things we're going to be doing is fixing the image because well, the character, the player rather, just had a portrait that they use for their character. And so I had a little square box up here at one point to represent his character because I didn't have a full body art for him. So they said, I can't find anything. We'll just use this for now. So they sent me this guy. He's a biohacker. His name is Doc Dade. And so I put that on there. He's like, whoa, I didn't think you were going to be serious. I'll find another thing. And he did. And it's actually really good. I like the art he found is perfect for his character. So we will, I've got all my, here it is, my links covered. So he sent me the picture. Let's show you guys. Let's go to the Sven Zone. That's right, that's right. And this is Starfinder, and here it is. Ding, ding, ding. That's his picture. Like I said, really good, very nice. I'm gonna have to chop off his arm so he can get a new augmented arm at some point. Not sure why he has the metal codpiece and why it's so high, but okay. So let's save this image. So what you want to do is when you're saving something that you're going to be using in a campaign, you want to make sure it's in your fantasy grounds and that it's in your, you can either save it right to images, and that way it can be used by any campaign anytime, or in this particular case, I'm going to use it for just this campaign. So I go to this particular, I go to campaigns, and in this particular campaign, images, Doc D. That's fine because I have the other one saved as Doc Dade and this one saved as Doc Dade. All right, boom. So there he is. So what I need to do first is I need to make it a PNG, get rid of all this gray around him. So we say goodbye, Discord. Bye, Discord. Talk to you later. And we go to our web browser because I don't use Photoshop. I use a little thing I like to call Pixlr. I call it Pixlr because that's what it's called. It's for free, which is the best thing in the world. This is the easier one, the easier to use photo editor. This is more powerful one, which is one I use. I don't know if I'd call myself a professional, but who knows. Open the image. Doc D. Open. So now that it's here, it's very simple. You just hit this wand, select the magic wand to select areas with similar colors. Boom. Select. It's bleeding. Okay, so if I deleted it now, it would get rid of half this image, and I don't want that. So let's see if I can change. I never remember how this works. Let's see. Go to tolerance down to change the tolerance to 5. Okay. One select. There we go. Perfect. Now you hit delete. Boink, and now you got his image. Now we zoom in, and let's see. Fingers crossed. Good. These two little sections aren't important, so if it didn't work, I wouldn't care. A little bit of gray is not that big a deal. All right, so it did still cut off a little bit up here, but it's white anyway, so it's not going to be a huge deal. I am happy. Is that the artist? No, I don't know what this is. So now we go to our erase, which is that eraser. That's our heel eraser. Here we go. Boom. And we zoom. We come out. We just go bye bye. Come on. Okay, why isn't this working? Okay, so we go File, and we go Save. Now it is saving as a PNG, which is what we wanted. It's in the same spot. Click, save. It already exists. Yes. Close. Now we, oops, sorry. We go to File. We go to Open. We go to our dock day. Notice it's no longer gray. Now we go to Eraser. There we go. Yeah, so that's something, just ignorance on my part. I don't know how this program works. Whenever I do the wand select, I'm pretty much, that's the last thing I can do. I'm going to crop it just for fun because I really don't need all this extra space. And so once I do the wand select and I'm finished with that, if I'm going to do anything else to the image, I have to open it, close, save it, open it again, and that works just fine. Again, it's just ignorance on my part. I know there's a way around it. I just don't know what that is. All right, so now we've cropped it down, got rid of that extra space. We apply, blink, file, save, dock day, download, save. Yes, we're replacing it. Close. Okay, so now we go to our image. So we can go here. I also have it saved in one of my hotbars because I use it a bit, but I'm just going to go ahead and so I have the scale UI up really high today so you guys can see what's being written here. So that's why everything is taking up so much space on my screen. It's because I had the scale UI up really high so you guys can read stuff. Group. Tracking sheet. What is this? Starfinder, Starship. Obviously this isn't what I wanted, but I wanted to know what the heck this is. Squadron group tracking sheet. Headquarters, systems, roster, fleet. Okay, interesting. Good to know. And that's on what? Starship Operations Manual. Okay, good. Anyway, this is not what I wanted. So I want the Midnight 7 crew. That's why it's not under group, because it's not group photo. It's Midnight 7 crew. So you saved your picture in your campaign. Now you want to find it. Go to your assets. Again, everything is huge. you want to change the size of the window, a couple different ways of doing it. If you hold down Control, left click, and drag, it will change the shape of the window. So you go click on your campaign data, and everything is there except your picture. What's going on? Where'd it go? Well, what we have to do is you have to go to this button here, Refresh Folder Assets. You'll see Folder Assets refreshed, and there he is. Dun, dun, dun. So now you go here, unlock it. We'll make it a little bigger so we can see what's going on. And now we have DocDate PNG. We're just going to select it, delete it. Maybe. Oh, maybe because it's locked. Can't do it when you're locked. Ah, that's why. There you go. Now, I'm going to take dock. We can just drag it in there. And that's what I'm going to do. Just going to take it and drag it. Boink. And then we resize it. So we go to our layer section, which we're in. We make sure we have dock deselected. And we shrink it down. In this particular case, I want to make sure I keep the aspect ratio. Okay, hold down Control to slide up or down. There we go. All right, so this is all in, where's the halfling? These are all to scale, height-wise and stuff. I'm gonna bring him down, make him lose a little weight. It's not quite that heavy. All right, I know he's hiding his squawks. So what we'll do is we'll take, where's the squawks? Train squawks. Take Doc and put him down below the train squawks. We could also, so the train squawks is not a PNG. Oakley dokley. So we're just going to switch them. We're going to move the train squawks. Oh, it's going to cut off the tail. Okay, so we're just going to move him here. We'll leave him where he was. And we'll just have to do a little shifting. I could go in, find the picture, go through all the trouble of doing a ping again. I have other means of doing things, so not going to worry about it. We're just going to fix him. Let's take the Vesk, slide him just a smidge, take the dock, slide him a smidge, and we'll be good. There you go. Just like that, we're done. Much easier, much simpler, much faster. Last thing I want to do is oh, that was his original. So this was that was his picture originally. So I thought he did a really good job finding a good one to represent the guy he originally envisioned. So I thought it was good. Perfect Technomancer. I want to move him down because he's higher than he should be. There we go. All right, so there we are, my friends. This is our new and improved crew. Same crew, just different picture for Doc. And again, like I said, I like it a lot. So now what I'm doing is there's no way of using this as a backdrop that I know. Let me see, maybe I was wrong. Let's check. Just want to double check. Minimize view. What does that mean? Nope. Yep. So there's no way to set this as the backdrop that I know of, because it has to be in the assets. And I don't believe it is. Let me check. Midnight. Yeah, it's not. Um, so once you take something out of the assets and mess with it or something, and it's in the campaigns, you can't set it as the backdrop. But what you can do is do this. Um, go to my snippy tool, and we're going to make a snippy of it. And then we're going to save it. Click, override the one that's there. Save. Are you sure? Yes. Now we close this one. Close it. Go to our assets. Refresh. And look what happens. Dun dun dun. It refreshed. And now we have our new background with the new guy. Time for a drink. You'll be happy to know that I repressed my urge to slurp for effect. You're welcome. Let's get a quote, shall we? All right, so go to our stories. Now that we're finished with this, I'm going to check my handy dandy notebook to see what else I need to do for this one. Fix Doc's picture. All right, my work here is done. Okay. So we're going to the story. We're going to the Dawn of Flames. We are in section. So we just, actually, no, we're not in part one. We're in a different part. Part two, Rebellion Dawn. There we go. All right, so we are in Nib's capture. Actually, we're going to go to checkpoint Lubao. So let's go to Nib's capture, and we should be able to continue from here. All right, so I do want to leave a note to myself. So they have a scientist with them. Therese. And they were there to help find her ex-wife. This is Therese. Again, control, shrink it down, shrinky, shrinky. A couple different things I can do. I can go down here to toggle toolbar, zoom to fit, poof. Or I can just hold the mouse wheel and shrink it up and down as I want to. So that's our chick, Therese, and looking for her ex-wife. Who's a Yosoki? Gotta love Starfinder, huh? Huh? Gotta love it. All right, so she's in jail basically, even though they don't really have the authority to do so, the people who took her. But she's captive. Uh, but she's staying back at their apartment, or Nib's apartment, while the group goes to rescue her. But it says that she checks up on them every once in a while, so I want to make sure I remind myself. So I'm going to open this up and say Nib not Nib, Therese. Control 2, make it a heading, and then hit enter. And now I'm going to drag her picture over. And I'm going to do that a couple more times as well. I'll throw Therese. We'll just throw the picture here. Boom. All right, so here's the map that they're going to be working with. And here's my map of where they're going to be rescuing her, Nib, from. In theory, the group will be coming in from down here, dealing with the dorks in these things, moving through here, and then trying to find her. So we won't know for sure how it plays out until they actually do it. They could go around, they could do lots of other things. That's the nice thing about playing a role-playing game. It's really up to the characters what they want to do. Hello, Mr. Rhino. How you doing? You won't see this for another 10 days, so I'm not worried about it. But I'm going to check and make sure that the people who made the map did their job and did, let's put this up a little bit higher. Put in lighting, put in. All right, it doesn't show lighting here, but it does show there is line of sight. Okay, so that's there. Okay, it has these as terrain. It should be windows, I believe. Let's check. Yeah, these are windows. These are not, this is not terrain. But they're almost the same. The main difference is with a window, you see through it, you just can't move through it. Whereas terrain, you can't see through it. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I might just open these up. Well, we'll see how it plays out. All right, so if we're going here, roadblock 1, let's check it, make sure. So you can see, that's why I blew this up a little bit so you can read some of this. There's a rolling, this is what goes to the players. Boink, slap it in there. So there's a group of people waiting to go through the rolling gate. All right, so normally this is an open street. Speaking, by the way, let me look at the lights. Yes, there is no lighting. So first of all, the whole thing, so we have a couple choices here. They're on the surface of the sun, inside a bubble city. So the whole thing is orange. And I'm looking at this thing here. It looks like there are lights. So not only are there cameras, but there are also lights. Okay. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go here to ambient lighting. We're going to go preset of, I believe dawn was a good one. There you go. That is a good one. All right. So there we go. We've got dawn. We can click on the color and I'm going to make it a little bit more red, I think. Let's see. Turn down. Nope. We want it to be, yeah, a little redder. There we go. So here's some reds. And let's see if we go down here. Orangey. There we go. Okay. Boom. So there's our ambient light. Surface of the sun light. Okay. Now we're going to add some lights. Click on add light. We're going to go to preset. I'm going to go with candle for these small ones along here. Candle. It's not going to flicker though. I could have them pulse and flash and stuff, but I'm not going to. And then the color is this light. We're going to go down here. We're going to zoom in. Take the color picker. Actually, that's really green. We'll just do light blue because never mind. We'll do the color picker. So the reason it's green is because I turned on the ambient light. If I turned off, let's see, turn off. It's dark. Okay, never mind. So we'll just go with what we were doing. Change the color to light blue. Bright light blue. Okay. No. Bright light blue. Okay. There we go. So we have dim light in 5 feet with this preset of a candle. Zero flicker. I've got it again. All right. Hold on. My bad. My bad. All right. Don't want. There we go. Boom. Okay. All right. Now we have the heck over. There we go. Okay. So we've got our little running lights. Okay, now we're going to go with these guys. Let's go with a torch. That's 20 feet. No, I'm just going to go with a... The color is the same, so all I'm going to do is just change this to 10 feet. And then we're going to add them out here. Boom, boom. You want to make sure you add it outside the wall. Otherwise, it'll go on the other side of the wall, and you don't want that. By doing it outside, it will not shine inside. What is popping and locking, my fellow twerkers? Broken Mold, how are you? How are you? Welcome, welcome. I appreciate you stopping by, Broken Mold. If I'm not mistaken, you're at work, so I appreciate you saying hi during your break. We're just adding some light to a map. Oh, I forgot one right here. Boom. That was a fun snippet of the game I caught the other day. Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Don't forget, you and everybody else, if you do want to see what's going on, you can check out your videos. Boom. At Spencer, just search YouTube for Spencer77 and then click on my playlists and you'll see all my different ones that I do. Um, so depending on what you're in the mood for, I had the day off. Nice. Nice, nice. For esoteric reasons. I feel you. I feel you. I do it myself too. Yeah, some people take, working for Comcast, I get a lot of, I work with customers with disabilities for Comcast. So I get a lot of vacation, of course, time off, stuff like that. And some people save it and go for like a week at a shot. Me, I do like 3 or 4 hours once or twice a month. I'll just take half a day off, boom, schedule it in advance, and life's good. Makes my attendance look really good because I rarely call off. But the nice thing is I can be at home. It can be 11 o'clock at night and say, you know what? I think I'm going to take half a day tomorrow and go in, schedule it as long as it hasn't been taken for that day. Boom, I can take the rest of that half day off. Anyway, but what does that have to do with Starfinder? Absolutely nothing, because there is no days off in Starfinder. All right, so let's take a look and see what we've got so far. So that's pretty much all the lights I need to worry about, the ones outside, the ones that are shining. So let's go to our play version. And let's go to our player view. So there we go. So we have our lights. That's what it looks like normally. And this is what it looks like with the lighting. All right, so the problem is because we chose dawn as the ambient light. By the way, you see how the shadows and then this light that we put there overrides the shadows. The problem is they're on the surface of the sun, so there is no direction of light. It is all around them. So we need to kill these shadows, which we can do. So we go here, we go to ambient lighting, we go to direction and length. So we turn off length. Blink. There we go. So now we go to our play mat. It's what it looks like before. This is what it looks like now. Very cool, very subtle. See, you can see the little globes of light around these things. I doubt my players will even notice, but some GM might notice it too. Okay, Alright, so Broken Mold is talking about his day off. It's an odd story concerning a studious goblin and a special artist and a sentient bagel with the will to survive. No shadows. Yeah. Yep, no shadows on the surface of the sun. Okay, so here we go. So that's our setup. Now back to the action. Let's go ahead and lock this back in. We will close it off a little bit so we can see some of our main players. So Nib, she is locked up in here. Probably one of these detention cells, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, she's in the interrogation room. She's over here actually. Um, but the group, at the behest of Nib's ex-wife, Therese, over here, are going to rescue Nib. So there's crowds of people here. I can guarantee. Shut up and get back in line. I like it. Um, that they don't have the people. The crowd of people, I should say. All right, so we're going to throw. So we've got 3 people here and the roadblock. Put them in. And let's see. Why are they neutral? They should be enemies, but that's okay. Open up our combat tracker real quick. Here we go. Boom, boom. Boom. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to change all these guys to enemies. Actually, no, I don't have to. If you go here to menu and you go to delete only foes or delete all non-friendly. Boink. So we had a protest that the group was dealing with, and they successfully navigated that. So that's why I had a ton of people in the combat tracker. So let's try this again. Boom, we're going to add these 3 guys. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I could have sworn one was inside, so let me read this again. So a brass dragon mark. We'll zoom in so you can see what's going on. We will make them a little visible for the moment. Hopefully I'll remember to change it. There you go. So a brass dragon mark and a sunrise collective soldier work outside the guardhouse. A third leans against the corner of the eastern guardhouse. Okay, there he is. Watching the show. Yep. Their attitudes indifferent. They settle with telling people to shut up and get back in line. If assaulted or otherwise provoked, they will arrest them. And then they will switch to deadly force, killing anyone who seems threatening. If a fight here. Okay, again, I'm not sure why they. I guess I just copied and pasted it right from here instead of taking the time to go. Ta-da! Frustrating. Mims from area B2 emerges to join in. Okay, so Mims is another Yosoki. Is a Skittermander. 6-armed person. Tiny one. Alright, so what we need to do is we need to add some people. We go to our tokens, our assets. We go to tokens. Let's see, data is that where I was pulling them from? Alright, so here we go. Yeah, we got some couple people here, so we'll just say these are all some business folk. Just looking through my tokens, see what else we can add. So since I started with these top-down people, we will go up to index. And we're just going to select some random tokens. This is Starfinder. So come on, there we go. Nope, I want the ones that are top-down. Trying to remember where character pogs tokens. There we go. There we go. So here's another person. I'm trying to get people who don't have weapons. Another person. Move away from the dwarves. He's got a scroll. All right, and let's say one more person. We'll make a nice, here we go. I like this one too. It's bald head. All right, boom, close. So we've got a small line of people. We're gonna line them up over here. So it went black because I've got line of sight on right now. Let's go ahead and fix that. Player vision preview mode, turn it off. Okay, here we go. Zoom out. So we'll take our people, we'll zoom in a bit, and just because it's me, I'm gonna hold shift, turn him, so he's talking to him. So these two will be together. She's waiting. These two are together. Again, we're holding shift to turn. All right, so there's a small crowd of people. They're talking to him. They're waiting to go through. As they talk and as I do stuff, I will have some go through. What our crew wants to do is go in to here. All right, so now we've got that set up. We're ready to go. Now, when they get inside the office, they run across MIMS. Broken Mold says, I briefly listened to a video about biohackers. I'll need to listen to it again, but as a healer main, very much like the idea behind the class. Oh, if you ever see your viewer number pop up by 1, sometimes it's Twitch being weird, sometimes it's a friend of mine that puts my channel on while I host people. Awesome, that's great. Hopefully he'll love it, fall in love, and become a follower himself. That'd be swell. All right, I could have sworn I had checked I'll do that while I'm doing this. Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. Always do. Let's see. Click. I'll do that while I'm and click. All right, so I was correct. Yeah, just want to make sure you were not an official streamer yet. Broken Mold. I wanted to give you this shout out if you needed it. So Fire Orca. That's cool. Well, hey, hopefully she'll fall in love. I do, as you know, D&D, Starfinder, Magic the Gathering Arena. So hopefully she'll find one of those interesting. Live play, prepping. So all depends on her level of nerddom. And so Nibs, Mims, I wonder if they have a picture of Mims. You would think they would because people love. They don't really. There's no picture of Mims. Wow. Okay, well, people love Skittermanders. Let me double check the book because I have missed a picture before because I didn't realize I don't really use the book as much. I use the book to read through the whole thing. No, there is no picture of Mims. All right, there's a picture of them leaving. Okay, just making sure. I meant to mention it earlier, Broken Mold says, I very much appreciate it, but my PC is broken for a while, and before that I hadn't streamed in more than a year. Well, once you're back up and running, let me know. I'll make sure I follow you in return. May one day pick it up again, but currently it isn't in the card. I do, however, much enjoy the shout out. Oh, no worries, not a problem. I enjoy it. Yeah, we do try to help out my fellow streamers, especially the smaller ones. And Atomic Hero Squad. Speaking of um, people, Atomic, I really hope you're feeling better. I know Monday was rough. You were really under the weather, and I know you didn't have a stream yesterday, but you were planning on streaming today, Atomic, and I hope you did. We were just talking about streamers. We're getting there. Thanks. It was a short stream, but it was good. Awesome. Awesome. I'm sure your fans appreciated it. We got Rhino in the house as well. Orca played Magic the Gathering a few years ago, Broken Mold says. Fell out of it. She knows 3.5, 4E, and 5E rules like a living encyclopedia. Nice. Yeah. 4E is still my favorite. And it took me a while to understand the hatred for 4E because when 4E was playing and I played it with my whole family, I introduced my family to D&D through 4E. Some of my friends and things, and I'm talking my kids and everything else. We used the online character creator that which is the wasn't Wizards of the Coast at the time, I think. Yeah, Wizards of the Coast had set up. D&D had set up. You go online, you could make a character in as little as 20 minutes, and it had all the powers and all the special things on there. Um, the wording of it, everything was perfect, all there. You could then print off the character sheets, and you had it right there. So what I realized is that a lot of people didn't use this. It was a free resource, so I don't know why they didn't use it. And so they had to build their characters by hand, and that for 4E would have been mind numbing. So I can understand the dislike for 4E because they weren't using the tools that were there. Um, but for me, having a you had all these different powers. It told you exactly when to use them, when not to, and everything you could do had a flavor text. So even those who couldn't role play or didn't know how to role play yet, all they had to do was read the flavor text. So instead of attacking, I attack with my sword, I roll a 16. No, it would say, gathering your anger, you thrust forward with your blade, striking the enemy, something like that along the lines. It was very quick. It was cool. Anyway, enough about D&D. We're here playing Starfinder. Um, so we've got our setup here. We've got our crowd now. We have our lighting. Um, there you go. There's our lighting. And so now they're going to be moving into the building. Skimming through here. So Skidamander was here. So I'm definitely going to have a picture of a Skidamander because everybody loves Skidamanders. They don't have a picture of Mims. So I have all these things. Let's see. We have an engineer. Don't think that's really going to work for what we're looking for here. He's a Solarian. I think these three are the same picture. Yeah, they are. All right, so let's do a quick check. Don't want to take a lot of time. Um, let me know what you think of biohacker healers. So, biohacker healers, Broken Mole is talking about the class biohackers. Uh, what they are is you are sort of like an alchemist in the sense that you have this med kit with you and you craft these viruses and these uh, antigens and serums. I guess a serum is the best way of putting it. Serums that help or hinder. And then you can then make these little capsules, you stick them in some sort of either syringe or a needler pistol. There's several different weapons that you can even have a glove with syringes on the end of the fingers that you can inject people with. Um, and then you inject them. Either if they're the enemies, it hurts them. If it's your friends, it helps them. The cool thing is with your friends, because you attune them to your medical kit, you automatically hit your friends. So you can be across the room, your friend can be hurt, you shoot them, boom, the dart hits them and it automatically hits and affects them. And they can do things like speed them up, slow them down, give them extra armor class, give them resistance to certain uh, elements or certain types of damage. Obviously, heal them as well. You can also get rid of effects. So if they're poisoned, if they're blinded, if they're exhausted, you can get rid of all those things. Um, everything I just said, you can flip it, and they can do all those things to the enemy. They can blind them, they can exhaust them, they can decrease their armor class, you can slow them down, you can give them extra resistance. Extra make them vulnerable to different attacks. So all those different things is what you can do as a biohacker. They are very clunky. So if you've never played Starfinder before, um, I would not suggest a biohacker unless you have a really good dungeon master or have a lot of time to really focus and read your stuff, go over it, and understand your character really well. Um, if you have played Starfinder before, or you've played a lot of role-playing games and you are ready to take a really clunky character, then go for it. It's a great build. I have two people who are playing him. One um, is a very logical person who doesn't role play, but he does a really good job. He remembers all of his special things that he can do. He remembers how to do them. The other one is a GM of Starfinder and a really good role player as well. Um, and so he knows Starfinder backward and forward, and he does a good job playing this biohacker. So those two people I've seen play biohackers, they both do them well. Um, that would be the only caveat I have is that they are complicated. So there's lots of different things that you can do. You can only do certain things at certain times. Um, some syringes you can do all day. Some syringes you can only do once a day, stuff like that. So lots of little ins and outs, especially as you get higher level, it gets more and more and more to it. Uh, so that's the only caveat I have to it. But they're really good. Having you mentioned a biohacker mystic. Mystic is similar to a cleric, sort of. Uh, I, they're more for 5e clerics in the sense that they tap into the mystical powers, use and they can heal people, whereas technomancers are the wizards and they can't. But if you did combine a mystic and a uh, biohacker, then you would be able to do both. You would have this scientific serum making individual who can also cast spells and tap into the powers of the universe to heal people or do similar things that the biohacker does, and then a lot more. So uh, your biohacker isn't as good of a melee person. So if you switch to a biohacker mystic, your mystic is a little bit more tanky. They can survive combat a little bit better depending on the build that you use. So, but if you're looking for just a healer, a person who's going to stand back, buff the party, and heal, and not expect to do a whole lot of damage, then a biohacker mystic combo would be really good. Keeping in mind, mystic does have some really powerful mind affecting spells, mind blast and stuff like that. So you could always have one or two spell slots filled with those type of things, and that way you can still deal the damage if you need to. So I think it's a great idea having a biohacker mystic. I have not seen that combo before, so um, if that's something you would like to do, I think it would work really well. I started D&D as a cleric druid multi-class. My appetite for learning allowed me to play that. Yeah, uh, very cool. Cleric druid would be a nice combo. So what we're going to do is we had one of these creatures who became a sheriff. Help him out. These creatures are very unique. I've talked about them before, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about them now. But they like to help people, boil it down to. Um, so if you can convince a Skidamander that you need help, they'll do whatever they can to help you. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the interwebs real quick just to see if there is a Skidamander sheriff. Like I said, people love Skidamanders. There's been 3 or 4 different adventure paths and one-shots built around Skidamanders. I don't really care for them, but a lot of people love them. So let's take a look and see. Let's go with Mims Starfinder. See if anybody knows. Nope. Okay, so we will go to Skidamander Starfinder. All right, so here we go. Here's the art. So we're looking for let me just explain. Um, Mims is an excitable furball wearing meticulously polished armor. He's loyal to his new friends. Okay, so here it is. A Skittermander became enamored with the police life and demanded to help. The chief, unable to discourage him, the chief eventually gave in and let the honorary officer Mims help around the station. He's excitable and he wears meticulously polished armor. He's loyal to his new friend, jumps in to help. Okay, so we're trying to find a police-ish looking person, or at least somebody in armor. These are, because they're multiple hands, people love using them as engineers. Sometimes they're mystics. Here's a plushie. Not seeing a whole lot in armor. So, more plushies. There we go. There's the set right there. Ooh, here's another one. Alright, so now we're veering away from the Skittermanders. Alright, so let's try one last thing. Let's try Skittermander in armor just to see how well the interwebs thinks about things. This is pretty cool from Deviant Art. I like that idea. Like a diplomatic looking dude. Yeah. See, Skittermander and armor don't really come up with a whole lot of hits. Because they typically don't mix. The Skittermanders, like I said, they're very helpful, nice creatures. They aren't really combat oriented. I think I'm going to go with this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and save this puppy, and then we will see what else we can find. If we can't find anything else, then we'll stick with this one. Alright, so we are in this campaign's images. This is where I want to be. So we're going to make it MIMS. Save. Looking at the related searches. Let's say search down here real quick. Anything that was different with the words flopped? And the answer is no. Alright, so last thing we're going to do is warrior. Yeah, so okay, interesting. It's like an evil one. Alright, so that's what we got. We've got MIMS now. So once again, now that you've found your picture, go to your assets. I'm going to shift over my, get rid of these guys. Get rid of this. Click right here, refresh folder assets. Folder assets refreshed. Now I go to images, campaign, MIMS, create image record. I could tweak the color. I could do other things if I wanted. I'm happy with this the way it is. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to put it right there. Boink. I'm also going to put a pin here. Let's see what token they use. All they have is S. Wow. Okay. So, um, yes, Skittermander is the name of the race. Skittermander, all one word. Like a salamander, but skitter. Skitter. And then, so we definitely want to change that. So that's very easy to do. Again, we go to the interwebs. This is a awesome tool. It is called rolladvantage.com, altogether one word. When you go to the home page, it takes you here. You just click on token stamp, choose your image, and then you can tweak everything. So first of all, we're going to switch to the border around it. These are all the different borders I could choose from. I think for him, we're going to use this guy. Now we're going to change it to match his fur-ish. Go. And then we're going to change the background color to white. And this is what it looks like. So now we click on him and we make it bigger. There is Officer Mims. Dun, dun, dun. And then all you do is just download. So I'm going to put this in all of my Fantasy Grounds tokens. So I go to my main Fantasy Grounds, go to my tokens, see all the ones I made. You can see all the different styles from all, ones with this type, the smooth round, to the fancy gold, to the ones with the bigger angles. Even the hexagon type thing. So it's lots of cool ways to make the tokens. Very awesome. This is going to be called MIMS. Save. Boom. Once again, assets. Refresh. Character creation noises. Broken mode says, making burgers, nothing going on here. And absolutely, Skittermanders are playable race. Like I said, there are adventure paths and one-shots with a crew of Skittermanders. So you have 6 of them, 5 or 6 in the party, running around, all doing their stuff. Okay, they're small. If you didn't notice that, or if I didn't mention that already, they are like 3 feet tall, 2 feet tall. So now we go to tokens, data. We could also just type in MIMS, but I like to show off my tokens. And now we take this, we unlock it. Boink. And for funsies, we will add him to the map. There he is. And there he is in all his glory. I'll move this up to here. Alrighty, so we are set and ready to go for the first section, for the first part of this. Lock this back up. Close this up. So now when our players come around, we will hide all these. When players come around, everything will be ready to go. So what I want to do is, here's part 2, Rebellion Dawn, linked down here. I'm going to link the checkpoint map. Boom. And then, so let's close off some of these things. All right, now I want to go to my, we'll close this as well. Go to options and go to the message of the day. I try to keep up with this as I'm going along and open the calendar because they are linked. Well, I mean, they aren't linked, but they are. They have to share the same information basically. So I try to keep up with this as we play. Keep up with the calendar, so the time and the everything is current, and they can always ask what time is it, and I can just click on this and it tells them the time and the date. Again, everything's so huge so you guys can read it with this weird font. All right, so see, I just put a couple notes in here so I could fill them in later. All right, so they came upon a crowd outside an apartment building where a Kasatha family was being hauled into the street. The party killed one and the other two trying to figure out a name for them. Officers, I guess. Mercenaries, because there's two different things going on here, two different groups. I'll just say bullies. Bullies ran off. Second mob. So 25 minutes later, the party comes upon a protest where 3, I'm going to call them guards, are nervously watching a thrown bottle almost causes the guards to attack, but the party talks calms the situation. Calms the situation. All right, and then at 2300, they're at the apartment to find Nims has been captured and taken to a local checkpoint station. All right, let's see. So Broken Mold. I played 5 D&D campaigns. 4 of them I was a gnome or a snifnevlin. The other one was my first campaign, and I was like so many other first timers, a half elf. Okay, nice. Nice gnomes and snifnevlin. Very cool. Halflings in Starfinder are very powerful. And I have one of the players here. That's why this guy, you can see, close this. Move this. This guy right here is a Technomancer Halfling. Um, for example, to get a +1 to all their saving throws. Just because. All the saving throws +1. Stuff like that. So Halflings are really cool in Starfinder. They also have gnomes in Starfinder. A couple different styles of gnomes. You can also be a space goblin. You can be a gray. They also have the little 18-inch plant people. So there's lots of cute, lots of small people. There's also a 2.5-foot lizard that can squirt blood out of his eyes at people you can play as. So lots of cool thing. Um, so lots of small people in Starfinder. Some of them cute, some of them not so cute. That you can play as a race. All right, so that's where we left off as 2330. Therese stays behind as the party goes to rescue Nims. All right, it is Nims, right? Is it Nim? No, it's Nib. I had an inkling in the back of my mind. I was like, I think it's Nib. I mean Nibs, but it's Nib. Okay, boink boink, Nib. So quick message of the day is this pops up automatically when they get to when a player logs on to Fantasy Grounds, the message day will pop up if you have anything in there at all. If you don't have anything in there, then it won't pop up. And so I use it as a way of reminding people what's going on. People like me who play or DM multiple games a week, by multiple, it's like 7 or 8 games I'm involved in every week. It helps, especially since the different games there are. On Mondays, I play alternating campaigns as a player. So one Monday I'm one campaign, next Monday I'm a different campaign. I do the same thing on Fridays as a player. Sundays I run alternating campaigns, and Wednesday I have a once a month alternate campaign. Um, and then my normal campaign. So I have a lot of stuff going on, lots of different stories, lots of different characters. So this helps encapsulate what happened last week. Of course, they can always go back and watch the video, but not everybody has time to do that. And so this gives them at least a little bit of an idea. Oh yeah, that's right. That's where we were. That's what we're doing. So now I can just take everything I typed in my calendar, which the players also have access to, by the way. Players can look at this and they can see everything back to the beginning of the campaign, every single day what happened. And I just highlight this, Control C. Control V. Change this because that's not correct anymore. Actually, the day is correct. It's just the time is wrong. It's different. So the time is 23:30. They've actually left and are getting ready to head out. So I'm going to make it the next day. So we will progress. You hold over the time, hold control and use your mouse wheel to advance. Boof, boof. I'm going to say it is just after midnight. I'll say 12:05. Then we're going to open this up. This is the 31st, so we're done with this here. And now we, here it is. First. Okay, so we're gonna say 0005. Some quick planning. We'll say quick discussion and planning. The party arrives a block away from, they're going to checkpoint Labao. Checkpoint Labao. Again, we will just copy. So now this is no longer, this is actually, put this into chat, put this into chat. We can then wipe this out and we just drag it in to our message of the day, drag in the time. There you go. So now it is ready to go. I would normally put a map in here, but I haven't actually given them the map yet. I want to see what they're going to do because they might do scouting around the area first. When they're actually ready to approach the checkpoint, that's when I'll pull up the map. So for now, there's no map. I will put pictures though. Let's see. Of Torres. I'll have to give them a little something something. And nib in the message of the day. So it gives them something to click on, something they can see. All right, so let's wrap up this stuff. You guys have been hanging out with me for a while now. And by the way, if you didn't notice, if you're not familiar with the calendar, there's a whole GM section, and you can use it to make notes. If something is happening, like a disease is going on, say one of your people gets lycanthropy, and they're going to turn after a certain amount of time, or it might be something as simple as their repairs are done on their ship on a certain day, or an order comes in, or events are happening that you don't need the players to know about. You can stick it in the GM. I'm running a whole campaign just from my GM part of my calendar, because the characters don't know the day or the time. So the GM aspect is something I use every once in a while as needed. And what it does is it puts a blue dot next to the red dot when there's GM notes. So it's easy to tell on the calendar. Obviously, the players can't see the GM section of it. That's how the calendar works. All right, so Broken Mold Live says, I'm quite used to playing small characters. Are Skidamaners the overly super popular player race, or does that belong to another race? There are more. I personally have access to, I think is 130 something, 132 playable races, and I don't have the latest Alien Archive 4, and some of the APs, the Adventure Pass, have playable races as well. Like this one we're in, Dawn of Flame has the Ifrit playable race. So I've never heard the statistics as to which race is actually the most popular. If I had to guess, I would simply say just it might be human, simply because in the law of averages, most parties have a human. But again, that's not necessarily true at all. There are lots of I've seen lots of podcasts, heard lots of broadcast podcasts, seen lots of videos of live play Starfinder where there are no humans. So um, just thinking back, when we first started with the core rule book, there was 6 races, and then actually you could then had the old races too, Drow. So there's like a dozen, 15 races at the time. I would say there's a lot. Yeah, it's every time I say I'm ready to say Kasatha or Lashunta or Shirin, um, Vesk, uh, I think of another race. So I can't, I personally don't know that there is what it is, and I don't know that there's a way to track it either. I'm sure they've taken polls. Paizo may have, but there are just so many to choose from that it's hard to say what they are. Um, what the most popular race is. Uh, like I said, Kasatha is the four-armed. Vesk are popular for people who like tanks, the big lizard people. Um, and for some reason, Lashunta were popular at the beginning when there weren't a whole lot of races to choose from. Those are the insect people. If you think of Guardians of the Galaxy, the second one with the green girl, who is the empath, she's almost exactly a Lashunta. Um, so I guess anyway, so that is our stream for today. Again, Rhino, Atomic Hero Squad, Broken Mold. I really, really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, saying hi. Broken Mold, I enjoy the conversation. Um, if you guys have any questions, feel free to check out the stream, leave comments below on YouTube. I respond to every single comment that's left. And if you want to see how this plays out, this will be not this Sunday, but the following Sunday at 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 for those of you on the East Coast. So that will be the 1st of August is when this will play out, and we'll see what they do with Mims, see if they just shoot him down in a pile of burning fur, or if they'll be his friend forever. Who knows? More than likely, it'll be something in between those two. And don't forget, follow, like, subscribe, whatever else you do. Enjoy the rest of your day.